And that's a good deal he's just done.
So he's now the virtual leader in the race for the My Wish white jersey best young rider.
A bit sorry for Leonard, the Canadian youngster who's ridden so well, but outwitted by the Wolfpack as they rethought that one very, very well indeed. There's the new white jersey leader. And he's now, well, there's a 10-set win bonus, but I don't think Leonard will be snatching that today. So he'll have to pass over his jersey tonight on the podium.
Unless, of course, he finishes inside the top 3 at the end of the stage. But given what we've seen from him when it comes to sprints, that's unlikely. This is Lucas Stevenson at the back for the ARA Australian national team. All the blue colours of the Alpecin Premier Tech team at the rear of the peloton. Here's another look at the sprint.
And it is Rakanyi from the front, keeping Mauro Schmidt in the wheel. And it was number 45, Alistair McKellar from EF getting up there, or just holding on for third. So he was just trying to defend for Michael Leonard rather than Sweeney trying to improve his position. Mauro Schmidt, well, he didn't really have to. It's 7 seconds advantage over Harry Sweeney on GC this morning. Now he's got 9.
He's confirmed, as you said, Bobby, Rakanyu's got his 3 points. More importantly, a few seconds bonus as well. And Schmidt's 2 points. And McKellar snatching that 1 point and 1 second.
22 kilometres to go, and now we see Miguel Bial come to the front, the UAE team Emirates. This is really smart by UAE. Be positive, go to the front. Don't wait for the action to happen. Dictate the action.
Yep. Don't wait, be the action. And just riding defensively at the front. There's nothing to chase. There's no one up the road, but just keeping Javine at the front. And then when other teams eventually come, they're right there to tack on into the slipstream and maintain a position at the front of the field. But it'll be a nervous 22 kilometres for the UAE team. Little sections of crosswind, still plenty can happen. And they've had a real run of bad luck today.
Oh, they sure have. They've lost 2 riders in addition to Narvaez. They've also lost Vegatstek Langer, who would normally be the first rider on the team to do the role now that has been done by Miguel Bial.
The other thing for UAE, and Jay Vine spoke about it after his stage win into Uradla, is they've still got a sprinter on the team. The focus will be less on that today for one Sebastian Molano, who is very rapid and he'll like this uphill finish, but they may even need to use him to protect Jay Vine.
Hey, look at this, guys. We've hit 40. 104 Fahrenheit. As we head towards the finish, it's time to run for cover. Well, the riders will be home and dry in about 20 minutes' time, maybe less, 15. 21 kilometres left to ride. The peloton being stretched out again. Now, this is a troublesome wind now. It's unfavourable for attacking riding to the finish, so the sprinters are going to feel as though they're going to get their day. But there is an uphill sprint to the line. We've seen it twice. Comes off that bend. You can see the finish, but it is about 400 metres up the road. So you've got to judge your sprint absolutely to perfection.
You've got to have a bit of gas left in the tank as well. Exactly. The last time we finished here was Ryan Coquard, the French sprinter. As we see the peloton getting doused again. That just feels so good on a day like this where it's 40 degrees.
Yeah.
But Coquard is a sprinter that can't go toe-to-toe with the heavyweights on the flat, really fast sprints. But the more the road goes up, as long as it's sort of within a range of sort of 400-500 metres long, the incline, he starts to come into his own. Power to weight ratio is his friend. So we're looking for riders like that. This run to the line, apart from the pure sprinters that we've seen in Tanunda and Nan yesterday, it brings a few other riders into the mix with a good amount of punch, but that really good power to weight ratio that will start to see them close the gap on the pure sprinters and be in contention.
Fine, taking on food for the run into the finish and looking in a perfect position now, unlike last lap. Staying out of trouble, controlling everything. He doesn't need to win the stage today. He just needs the same time as the peloton on the line. He keeps his lead for the final day tomorrow. The peloton have all regrouped The big sprinters teams have forced the effort to get to the front. They're into a headwind, so it's favourable now to keep the race together for what will be a sprint. And we are only about 20 kilometres just under from the finishing line, about 12 miles to go.
Looking back at that intermediate sprint and EF Education first, tried to use the teammates of Michael Leonard to stop Raccagni getting seconds. Who they didn't use, who could have done it, was Luke Lamperti, but that's their sprinter. So they're allowing him to save his legs, not get involved in the intermediate sprint, not waste any energy. So, okay, we might lose the young rider jersey for the day, but Lamperti gets to spare every little bit of horsepower he'll need for the end. And he's the type of rider I'm talking about, that more slightly built type of sprinter, a good power to weight ratio. And when the road goes up on the incline, that's where they start to close the gap to the really big horsepower guys.
And the inspiration that Dad Tony's on the finishing line in from Sebastopol in California to see his son. And there's so many options now on a sprint finish like this on the climbs. Lower riders are too big and heavy to get up the hill. It's a long ride from that corner to the line. It's all uphill.
And the sort of heavier set sprinters I'm talking about, more muscular, Sam Welsford, Michael Zalard, a big, tall Dutchman, but it's a lot of weight, those big muscles to carry up the hill. I'm looking at guys like Tim Turtenberg, a bit more slightly built, but of course, well, I'm going to put Lewis Bauer in there as well.
You've got it after yesterday.
But Matthew Brennan, he hasn't got it right so far on the flat sprints. He has actually got the speed to go head-to-head.
Only 1 second.
And a 12th.
Yeah. So he's got the speed to go head-to-head with the best on the flat.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the road going up, he goes to a whole nother level. He just can't afford to make a mistake.
And he's made mistakes twice so far, but each mistake he makes is one step closer to getting it right.
Yeah, he's
Well,
always
that's
in the
also
mix.
true, but this is such a difficult sprint. The whole pack are here. Everybody thinks they can win it because of the argy-bargy that goes in those final couple of kilometres. The peloton's so close together. Even yesterday, we had a major crash just at the back off our camera. And for a while, it looked as though Naves had been given the lead, and we couldn't think what had happened. We didn't see the crash. It was on the straight up to the line, and then they reversed the situation when it's all worked out. 18 kilometres to go. It's been a very quick race, as always. Riders now beginning to labour a bit because they're racing right into the headwind. Matthew Brennan, the everyday pick by Robin McEwen, hasn't quite done it for him yet, but he's expecting it today, right?
Third time lucky, I'm going with it. I'll take a look at some of the other sprinters we're looking for. We've got Tobias Lund Andresson.
I fancy him today.
Yep.
I do. He's a lively built rider, reads it right.
And very good form. He's had a first and a second in 2 bunch sprints. I think this really does suit him as well.
Yeah. Whereas the blue jersey as the zip track race leader, and so far so good today. He hasn't lost it on the road. There's a change in the white jersey competition, unless we get a shock at the finish.
Well, Michael Zalard, one of the men in black and red from Tudor Pro Cycling, number 187. They'll be riding for him. Aaron Gate, number 177 for XDS Astana, the Kiwi track specialist, had a fantastic season last year. He gathered the team so many UCI rankings points that it helped them stay in the top flight. They avoided relegation.
And here's his team making their way up the left-hand side. He was 5th on the stage yesterday, and he was amongst the group of people delighted with the change of the stage today for the finish line in Wollonga. Here's Zilard, the Dutchman, in the black colours. His team, they hit the deck, but most of them have bounced back up, and they're still in the race, and they're still at the front.
Right, in a good position, just in front of the red jersey of Mauro Schmidt, who's now into 2nd place in this race. Let's have a look.
There's Aaron Gate. And, well, maybe not by coincidence, right next to Sam Welsford on his right-hand side. So Gate, the Kiwi for XDS Astana.
Yeah.
He'll be hoping he'll be that far in front of Sam Welsford when they hit the finish line.
That's about all he can hope for, the guy that picked the tire. a sprint against Wellsford, if that's where it's going to be.
Jared Drisner's number 111, moving around the outside. South Australian, new team for him this year. There's Marto Schmidt, the Swiss national champion. Started the day in third position overall. Unfortunately, because of the crash that we saw earlier on in the race with Jonathan Narvaez, is now up into second.
Top of screen there in the pink, Luke Lamperti, the man we spoke about a few moments ago, number 46, the American looking to make an impact down under.
Having a chat now with Wellsford, two great rivals chatting together near the front.
Tell me, Sam, how do you do it?
Yeah.
Red colours, Matthew Fox, the local kid in his first World Tour race, 8th on the stage yesterday.
Well, that would be a result. It was near Brighton where we started, so it would be a home win.
A good showing yesterday, and Fox is another one of those type of riders, a little more slightly built, but really good power to weight. He gets up a hill quite well. So I think this is a fantastic opportunity for him to go in search of a stage victory on home soil.
Speed has backed off significantly. They're barely pedaling within the peloton.
Yeah.
How does that play out for the sprinters?
Well, they're enjoying not having to go full gas at the moment, but at a certain point, at a race like this and a circuit like this, it changes really quickly from almost no watts being put out to having to go really hard when they turn into a slight crosswind and the acceleration comes, as we see Ethan Vernon from the NSN team.
He's a good tip.
He's a good tip, but he'd be missing a teammate to help in the shape of Jake Stewart. Also, Corbin Strong out of the race. He does have Brady Gilmore, so we're hoping he can guide him on to the bottom of that final straight.
They're two big losses, though, the guys you mentioned, Stewart and Strong. As good as Gilmore is, Stewart and Strong were to play a more significant role, particularly Stewart.
Here's Lawrence Pithy, the New Zealander for the Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe team.
It's Kiwi Central in front of him. Number 51 is Lewis Bauer.
Well, it's one of the other men we spoke about, number 51. Bauer, third yesterday, the sprint into Nan, behind Sam Wellsford and Tobias Lund Andresson.
He's not on home soil, but as a Kiwi, it's as close as it gets for a World Tour race. So his whole family, they've made the trip over to watch him too.
Well, we saw just before at the Zip Track Intermediate sprint at Snapper Point, Soudal Quickstep lining things out. That was for Raccagna to get the bonus seconds. They'll be looking to do the same again, but with a different man on the back of the train, the Italian who's been a three-time Grand Tour stage winner, Alberto Dainese. He's been renowned for winning bunch sprints on pancake flat courses. It's not a hilly stage, and I think he'll still have enough in the tank on a rising finish, as long as there's no big mountains in it. But I think you pointed out the other day, Matt, he hasn't won any of his really big victories when there's been a classified climb in the race.
Of all the stage victories that he's had in Grand Tours Alberto Dainese, there has not been one single classified climb. But today, although there has been classified climbs, there's definitely been no mountains, and this is the flattest stage, ironically, that we've had in the Santos Tour Down Under, when it was meant to include 3 times over Wollonga Hill. But because of the extreme weather conditions, in the interest of rider safety, public safety as well, the race has been brought forward by 1 hour, short by 40 kilometres, does not include Wollonga Hill because of the challenges of getting in and out of Wollonga Hill with just one road in and one road out.
And with temperatures at the finish line just hit 40 degrees Celsius, it looks like they'll be getting off the bikes just before the top temperatures of the day. Unusual to see the riders taking on feeding bottles from the side of the road there, because at this stage of any international race it's not allowed, but because of the conditions they've been granted that right up until nearly the end of the day.
That's a good decision again. Stuart O'Grady's done a fantastic job under difficult circumstances.
That's the cycling part of Stuart O'Grady, the race director. Mind you, it's the race referees. Now what's happening here? I've lost count of the time that Luke Platt has been back to the cars to get water today. He's had showers and he's had a few bottles into his throat as well.
The breakaway didn't work for Luke Platt, but would the team give him a big tick on today's stage?
Yeah, I think it was worth doing because it could have turned out a whole lot different. Had things split in the crosswinds, the team comes across with Maro Schmidt, you've got the engine of Luke Platt who would have preempted that move. That's what it would have been about. So I think they've done the right thing, and he, yes, gets a tick.
Absolutely. It's turning out to look like a perfect kill day for Jaco. The leader possibly in Schmidt at one stage, and the stage win perhaps for Black, not to be, though, in the end.
They've just taken the right-hand turn onto Tatachilla Road. Means the wind is coming in from their left. There's rather a lot of protection, and as they dip down, so they're almost riding below the wind as it comes over the ridge on their left-hand side. So not a lot of action along here.
Look at that, Robbie. It's gone up another degree. 41 now at the finishing line, 106 degrees. I can vouch for being windy. I've just come in from the outside, and the dust that's swirling around in our car park is immense.
And it's the wind, which is as big a problem now for the riders as the heat. Probably even more so a challenge for the peloton.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting last few kilometres here. The riders feel they've got the positions. Now they've got to use the teams to keep the men in position, because there's always going to be challenges coming up from the back. Visma, notably in the yellow jersey, had control of this race about half an hour ago and have now dropped into the centre of the pack.
It's a really inexperienced team. It's one of the best organised squads in the peloton, but it's a group of young riders that have come down under.
Wow. Ineos have had very solid race. It's nice to see that team coming back to the top of the World Tour, because they've had 2 stage wins already, but they're ever present. They're riding like winners.
Yeah, they are. And they've had 2 stage victories. And we spoke on stage 1. What would be a successful Santos Tour Down Under for Ineos Grenadiers? Prologue, leader's jersey, a stage win for Welsford. Tick, tick, tick.
Yeah, I settled at the beginning of the week and said 2 stage wins would be a success. I didn't see them being a serious threat on general classification. So with the squad they've got here, I think they've just about got the maximum out of it. They had got the maximum out of it. And now they get another chance to get a little bit more.
They can get a top up. You can feel the tension building, Phil, because they are prepared for the crosswinds, the blustery approach to the finish in Wollonga.
12 kilometres to go. That's 7 miles. And they've got the whole road shut down now, so the big team's controlling the pace. There's no reason yet to start charging to the line.
The old calm before the storm.
It is.
Here's another rider we'll be looking for at the finish. A man who finished 8th in the prologue, 9th on stage 1 in Tanunda, number 77. All the 7s, Tim Teutenberg. All the 7s and all the T's. So the young German from the Lidl Trek team, they've, as a team, had a fairly quiet race. 2 top 10s for Teutenberg. If you're looking to go a few places better this afternoon in Wollonga.
Well, he might get up in the sprint. He's a fast finisher, and it's a slight uphill finish, and we're not far away. How frustrating is it now if you're caught about 5 or 6 or even 8 rows back and you can't move because there's no room to move?
Well, at the moment it's okay, but the closer you get to the finish, the more that frustration builds. That's for certain. If you need to, you need to get into position. You're trying to get through, and the road's just shut down. You're completely boxed in.
Yeah. Now, when you
that's when the push and shove starts.
And you did win 12 stages of this event, but when you sprinted, Rob, I always called you Harry Potter. Because you always had your invisibility cloak on, and then suddenly, 50 metres to go, you're in the front or under somebody's armpits.
I think it was just because I was small enough to disappear behind the silhouette of somebody else. But I was always there.
You saw the way through the traffic, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. The sprinter's mindset is always, I'm going to get a gap. Even if it's not there yet, you start accelerating as if it's going to open in front of you.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, you've got to find a way to make it.
If it doesn't, you probably crash, do you?
Not me.
Oh, no. He says, laughing.
And he never looked behind.
Well, the race is always
and
in front.
It's always somebody else's fault, right, as well.
My dad gave me a very good piece of advice when I was a kid. He said, look where you're going, not where you've been.
Great
advice. That is a good piece of advice.
Very handy in bike racing.
And where they're heading now is they're heading towards Wollonga.
11 kilometres to go. The race started an hour early, 10 o'clock local time here in South Australia. They were off instead of 11. And that was another good decision because we're now hitting the height of the heat of the day.
Right-hand side of the peloton, UAE Team Emirates, Jay Vine sitting in third wheel, but importantly, when it comes to riders taking part in the sprint, it's Juan Sebastian Molano, their sprinter, sitting in front of Jay Vine. So it's all about the ochre jersey. It's not going to be about stage victory. Molano's got a job to do, and that's keep Jay Vine safe.
And Jay Vine creeping on the far side there. I think he's going to try and hold position, show his strength, and dare I say it, you never know when it comes to the sprint up this hill if he's in a good position.
I think it's a good idea for UAE Team Emirates, and we saw it along Aldinga Beach. Just go to the front, just keep riding tempo, just maintain a position at or near the front for Jay Vine within that first 3 or 4 rows and just stay out of trouble. Spending a little bit more energy to do that is fine if it doesn't put you in the washing machine that's happening behind of everyone pushing and shoving for position.
Luke Plapp swooping around the outside of the peloton. He's been back at the team car, has collected water bottles. He's now at service of his teammates.
And normally, Phil, in a bike race, last drinks is at 20 kilometres to go, but today's a bit different.
Absolutely it is. They're allowing feeding, it looks like, all the way to the finish at the moment.
Well, it would be inhumane to deny someone a drink just because there's been a rule written that it should be 20k to go.
Yeah, that rule can be amended by the race referees, though, and it looks like they're allowing it, which is very nice to see. .4 kilometres still. The leaders, the sharp men with the eye on the line have got control of the head of the peloton. Now we'll see what they can do. And, you know, Jay Vine, by default, might have to get mixed up with this race for the line to stay out of trouble.
Well, that's Jay Vine. You can see on the far side of the road. He's in third position wearing the ochre jersey. Adam Yates is the rider at the front setting the tempo. Yates is top 10 in his own right, which is a great result. But he's sacrificing his own chances to protect the overall race lead.
Yeah, absolutely so.
But of course, the big advantage that Jay Vine has, he never needs to panic because he has more than a minute lead over his nearest rival in general classification. So it's not like someone's hovering 3 seconds behind, might get a bonus, or what if there's a split in the peloton. So he just has to pedal his way in, maintain position there or thereabouts, and cross the line on bunch time. Doesn't matter if he's 10th or 110th. If that's the bunch, just be in that.
If you thought they weren't going quick, you probably heard the speed they went past our camera there. They are absolutely flying towards the finish despite the unfavourable wind.
It's been a very sedate past 10 kilometres. I was expecting more action in this phase of the race.
A lot of headwind.
Yes, probably.
And
right.
I think the temperature may be starting to get to them slightly as well. But everybody, I think, in this bunch has resigned themselves to the fact it will be a sprint for the stage victory. There's no breakaway off the front. There's nothing to chase. So why waste energy going fast when you really don't have to?
So then which team with a favourite to win the stage ranks first to try and control the race? Because it's probably the team that goes first goes too soon.
Over to you, Rob.
Well, the advantage that anyone has if they do go soon, if they blink first and start riding on the front first, they're going to be riding in a tailwind all the way down into Wollonga. So from McLaren Vale at the top of the main street, they swing around to the right. The wind's coming in from behind. It's going to be incredibly quick down through the vineyards of McLaren Vale and to Wollonga. So if you've normally got a 5k range with your lead out train, you could say that'll be 7 with a tailwind like that. Everyone can stay on the front for a bit longer at a high pace, but it's going to be a bit standoffish because it rises from about 3 kilometres to go before the finish line and just drags horribly. That's where you've got to make sure you're just holding your position and waiting to make your final dash.
Which is what the team in the pink colours to the left-hand side of the screen, or now to the right, have been doing well. And they've got 2 riders that they are protecting inside the top 10 in the overall standings. Harry Sweeney now up to 3rd place overall, and Michael Leonard, he now slips back to 2nd position in the race for the Best Young Riders jersey. Jefferson Cepeda, outstanding climbing. Jardy Vanderleet, brilliant in the crosswinds. Sweeney, we mentioned. Max Walker and Alistair McKellar doing a lot of the pace making at this point of the stage. But Luke Lamperti, he is their man for the sprint today. And Michael Leonard, for now at least, is in the white jersey for the My Wish Best Young Riders classification.
But I also think you mentioned earlier Aaron Gates, Rob, and his team are clearly riding for him now. And there's, I don't know what colour it is, turquoise. Let's stick with that.
Yeah.
The Astana team. They've got all the team up there, and it can only be for Aaron Gates.
Jensen Plowright, number 11 on the right-hand side, one of the best sprinters in the race, just completely hanging around down the back. But I still expect to see him make a move late. He's a guy who can wiggle his way through the peloton, and risk is not a factor.
And Visma there trying to repair the damage. They've put themselves in the centre of the pack now, and the whole team are trying to get back to the front.
Well, a lot of the Alpecin Premier Tech team are here with Jensen Plowright, so I don't know if they've had a late nature break or just been hanging out at the back. So no, we'll wait.
It was very late, but that was the case.
And also behind them in the red colours was Matthew Fox.
There's the Astana lineup, and their man that they're trying to get through, they're on the right, far right of our picture now, trying to bring through Aaron Gates, the Kiwi. Finally got a ride on a World Tour team, and he's been the star of this team all last year.
Well, you can see a lot more of the colour blocking now. NSN on the right-hand side, riding for Ethan Vernon. He's the tall figure in third wheel there. Next to them, Soudal Quickstep for Alberto Dainese. Aaron Gate being led by the man in turquoise just next to them. Little trek through the centre for Tim Toyn Turtenberg. Picnic Postanel in the darker navy colours coming through for Tobias Lund Andresen. The bright yellow with Matt Brennan. He's got an inexperienced team. He doesn't want to be sitting right down the back of the line, because then you put yourself in 60th wheel.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and then how about being in the middle where you get boxed in as opposed to on either side of the road?
Yeah, the best thing to do is get onto one side of the road and stick there, but make sure you're going to be able to make the exit and get out. And part of that is having whoever's riding on the front for your team at the time, they may even need to make an exit onto the gravel to get themselves out of the right way and not impede their teammates trying to come through.
Speed is winding up as they approach the final 5 kilometres.
Big tailwind downhill out of McLaren Vale. Now between the vines. The wind no longer a big danger in this stage. It's just the speed and the battle for position.
We're inside 5 kilometres from the finish now. It's firstly dead straight until we turn to the finish itself, and then it's about 400 metres of uphill climb. Anderson is the rider in the all-blue jersey. I can't see him there at the moment, but he is the man who is possibly going to mix it and try and take out the stage. If he were to win, I think that would sign off for that win in the blue jersey zip track competition.
He currently has just a 3-point advantage over Sam Welsford. But if Welsford wins the stage today, Welsford takes the lead.
Here's Ethan Vernon closest to camera, number 107, blue shorts and that mandarin coloured jersey. There's Lund Andresen, yes, in the blue jersey for Decathlon on the Van Rysel bikes.
I find he's not the best in position, Anderson, and he tends to let somebody else take the lead, and he comes too late. That's so far when we watch.
But when he did come late in Tanunda, it was with great success on the wheel of Tord Dittmerstup. Yesterday they did the same. It wasn't bad. They just got out-muscled by Ineos Grenadiers.
And to the other side of Anderson is the Australian champion, Pat Eddy. You can see some skin off on the left-hand side. Drone cam, this gives you a great appreciation for how fast they're going.
Yeah, it gives you a much better idea of the speed as they head still slightly downhill, false flat downhill with a tailwind. But this is 70 kilometres an hour.
That's a great shot. We can't even catch the peloton.
Need a bigger drone.
A bigger drone, more power. But that is a fabulous shot. It just shows you how fast they're going, this shot.
It probably could go quicker, but they're not allowed to fly it above the riders.
Well, that's fair enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
We don't want to shade them from the sun, do we?
Peloton now just starting to stretch slightly, the pace going up, 3K to go. It's not time to go with everything yet, but you've got to be there ready. 70.
This is amazing now. They've got to be in position now at 2.8 kilometres to go, poised for the final move. UNOX in charge.
They'll be riding for Stian Fredheim, their fast man on the UNOX mobility squad.
And behind them, the blue colours, Picnic Postanel for Casper van Uden.
Casper van Uden, he hasn't had great success here yet, but you can rescue your entire race with one result.
UNOX mobility en masse coming through to the front.
and they're always well organised. They've just got to get themselves together now. 3 coming up the middle. There's William Studd as well, so he's dragged his teammates forward. They just got to try and get all 5 together and form that real train to drag Fred home in. This is Vernon on the left-hand side, number 107. Pressure on the pedals now, Phil. It drags up.
Ethan loves this finish. He's in a position to win it, and he said it would suit him perfectly. All the fears of the course now behind the riders. It's just a matter of getting in position and coping with the sprint to the line.
Down on the right-hand side, just shoulder into the guy next to him is Sam Welsford in the orange. On the wheel of British champion Sam Watson. Ben Swift, who did the lead out yesterday for him. Watson with the elbows out. Move aside. Give me some room. He's trying to follow his teammate through.
Yeah, they pushed him off the wheel and he's barged his way through.
But Welsford has not got through, so he's now got to manoeuvre his way past those riders. And now the drag up, this plays into the hand of Matthew Brennan and his teammates rather than the flat, fast ones. They've got the front at the moment. Brennan's not on the wheel directly of his teammates. He's a little bit further back, the next yellow rider, the third one you can see down the line.
At the moment, this is looking extremely good for Sam Welsford to go head-to-head after his win yesterday.
Brennan right there, right in the centre of screen, number 151. On his left, the blue jersey of Tobias Lund Andersson. He swings out to follow him, but it's just a mash-up of colours now. Nobody's got it completely organised.
900 metres to go. Remember, we come round a sweeping left-hander, and in the far distance, you see the finishing line, and it's all uphill.
Well, Brennan, he's got himself a long way back. Riders keep coming round him left and right. He's got to manoeuvre his way out. It's now Ineos Grenadiers on the front of the peloton as they come under the trees. Decathlon, they have made their way back towards the front. Lund Andersson, he's in fourth wheel, the blue jersey, head on a swivel, side to side. He's looking from where the challenge is going to come. They were far back, but they were together, and they've got the timing right. They swing in 3 in a row.
This time, Andersson is in a perfect position in third wheel to repeat the victory he got in Tanunda on stage 1.
Battle behind him, elbow to elbow behind him. Sam Watson trying to get in, and the defence is coming from Andersson's teammate himself. Teutenberg on the other side on the left tries to come up. And now Watson, he goes early, the British champion. He attacks up on the right. Lund, maybe not the legs. Ethan Vernon, he has got the legs.
Yes.
The tall Brit. Well, he's lost teammates during the day, but he rides through the furnace of Waranga and gets victory.
He's the one who told us at the start of our programme today it will suit us. And I'm looking forward to it, and he's taking it out. And a great win for the team as well. NSN, never say never. Well, that's a terrific win for Vernon. He'll be speechless when we pick him up. Well, let's hope he isn't.
He'll certainly be out of breath after a sprint like that. I know I am, but Ethan Vernon, he gets the job done. It's been a tough couple of days for NSN, but what a reward on a stage that they got as an extra for the sprinters.
I was just sweeping.
Brady Gilmore is telling Ethan Vernon, I was sweeping, I was keeping him off your wheel. And when Vernon went, there was no one in his wheel. He blasted past, and nobody managed to ride in the slipstream of Ethan Vernon and powered all the way through to the line. And the others, oh, they were just wallowing in comparison.
So, the first win of the season for Ethan Vernon. Let's have a look at that again. While he takes a break, we'll get a catch-up with an interview with him, but it was a perfect leader. I really thought at this point it was going to be Andersson, but when he tried to come out into the wind, Vernon was finishing extremely fast.
Yeah, it gets steeper and steeper. Lund Andersson, he's poised, waiting. Sam Watson went on the right-hand side as Teutenberg tried to accelerate up the left, and then Ethan Vernon, he said, well, Sam Watson, that's just provided me with a perfect lead out, up and over the top. Lund Andersson coming through for second. He's 3 lengths behind. Behind that, it looks like Lawrence Pithy or Finn Fisher Black. I think it's Pithy, but Ethan Vernon, absolutely no doubt about the winner. The Brit comes out of the Northern Hemisphere winter and into the scorching Aussie summer at the Santos Tour Down Under, and he's going to return back to the cold with a stage win in the pocket.
I'll tell you what, it's 10 months since he won a stage race, and that was in March. And he won a stage in Spain, the Tour of Catalonia. He's back in the winner's seat.
Gilmore really not far away either. So that's a great performance by NSN, and hugs for the retiring Simon Clark.
Yeah.
The road captain, an icon of Aussie cycling.
This is huge for this new team on the block. It's kind of replaced the Israel Premier Tech team, which got embroiled in all sorts of political problems. And this is the payback. They're so happy. And NSN means never say never.
There is our top 10. So Ethan Vernon, stage victory. Anderson in second. It was Lawrence Pitt in third. Brady Gilmore from NSN, the teammate of Vernon. Aaron Gate in fifth. Sambanini Watson, Charmik Rakanyi, and Gotorat in the top 10. We've got Gracie Elvin at the finish, and she's speaking to our winner.
Ethan Vernon, what a win. Stage 4, stage victory, but what a bonus.
Yeah, considering the stage wasn't meant to be 24 hours ago. To turn around and do that, we lost Corbin at the start and Jake to a crash as well, so we were quite short, but these guys stepped up and were outrageous today.
Yeah, talk me through that last kilometre. You really had to be patient in that sprint, didn't you?
Yeah, we watched the last couple of editions, the women's and in 2023, and both guys won from a jump, and I was sat there pretty comfy, 250 to go, so I went, and I think I did the same. I got a gap and held it to the line, but yeah, everyone was suffering in heat, but the boys did a really good job at keeping me cool, and I saw guys suffering, and I kept it calm because I knew I wasn't suffering with the heat. So yeah, I played the game a bit, and yeah, it paid off.
It would have felt like an oven out there, but we were also expecting the wind to play a factor for today. But how did that play into the stage?
It caused a lot of stress, but in the end, it didn't really split too much. Caused the crash, I'd say, but yeah, in the end, it didn't really split the bunch. And the second time through, we didn't even try. So yeah, everyone was wary of it, but nothing came of it in the end.
A few extra special watts going into tomorrow's tough stage now with the stage win.
Yeah, it's a tough stage tomorrow, and we lost Corbin and also Jake, who it suited. So I guess we'll have to readdress and maybe look with Brady because he was also up there third or fourth today as well. So yeah, I think it suits him well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that'll be very upsetting for the team, losing two strong riders in Corbin Strong and Jake